needed.
Facts.
And when those products or services are absolutely needed, they create a demand that people got to get the iPhone. People got to get uniforms, you know?
Facts.
People got to drink water. They have to buy groceries. So it's a need. And
No,
right now, what we're doing is making financial education a need out here in these streets. You feel me? Because you need to
you
get your
hear me?
mind right so you can get your grind right so you can get some bread. You
You
know what I'm saying?
feel me,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So how your day been today, man? What's been going on
man.
with you?
Hey, bro, it's been phenomenal, bro. I tell you, uh, man, I got a crazy call from my daughter's school today. A young man pushed her on the ground today. So I was
No way.
pissed. Yeah, I was pissed at first. It threw me off low key. Um, but also understanding my child and understanding, like just I'm the dad that's going to act a fool regardless. You know what I'm saying? But at the
Hmm.
same time, allowing her to also understand. I told her, I said, you can't put your hands on young men. You can't hit on them. You can't slap on them. Now we're gonna make sure we get this situation handled at school. And they were just playing, so it wasn't like, you know what I'm saying, like. One of those things where I gotta go and beat up him and the daddy, which at first that's exactly what I was getting ready to do. I was getting ready to kick everybody's ass. Everybody's ass was gonna get kicked.
Everybody gonna get it,
Probably get ready to get shot. I was fuming, but
man.
also allowing her to learn her lesson because as much as I want to be protective, sometimes when we are so overprotective that we don't make them hold themselves accountable, they don't become better people. So
Mm.
allowing her to, she wasn't even mad. Like usually she know when it's time to come to daddy and say, Daddy, I ain't feeling this shit. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like,
Right.
fix this. You know what I'm saying? Um, this time she was like, Daddy, we was just playing and it got out of hand and whatever the case may be. So I'm like, "Ugh, put the pitchforks away. Fuck. You know what I'm saying? And that was hard because I don't really like letting too much stuff slide. So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it was
Especially
that
when it
was
comes to the little one, baby girl. You feel me?
we but definitely, I mean, I already let the principal know, like, still though, make sure you keep that on the down low because I'll definitely catch somebody in the parking lot. So
Right.
you know what I'm saying. So then let this be one lesson and let's let's
Right. Do
not go
your
through this
job.
again. So yeah, bro. Yeah, man. So it was solid, bro. Everything was smooth for you though.
Man, everything been great for real. I've been having a great day so far. Everything was good at the occupation. I really just been being excited. Continue to put more out there. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I felt my cup up in the regards of information and more
Yeah,
personal development and
yeah.
knowledge, and I'm ready to share that even more. So
And I
that's
think
why
that
we made what we made. That's why we're here right now. So we can share that the information and those conversations, those intellectual conversations about being better people overall. Especially financially, where it really matters.
facts. And I mean, like you were saying, bro, I think man, it's important that you fill the cup up. You know what I'm saying? That we take time to fill the cup up and continue to take that time to learn stuff that we can bring back. Um,
Yeah,
some of the most trusted people in villages back in Africa, any village for that such. The people who could leave and go get information, gather tools, information, food. Those are some of your most important people in those communities. You know what I'm saying?
that's right.
So we are hunter gatherers, man. So being solid hunter gatherers and taking time to go hunt and gather and come back to the village is really important as it takes to what we do, man.
You got me turned up on that because I'm definitely a hunter and a
You
gatherer when it
know,
comes to the information. You feel me? And I'm excited every time to take it back to the village so we can all eat off that. So
absolutely. Because
everybody,
if
you know what I'm
everybody's
saying?
eating and we ain't got no problems going on. We ain't got nobody being hurt, nobody being robbed, nobody being taken from. We can all create a market that shares within each other.
Especially in the city of Detroit, where we from.
Yes.
Where we were born, where we grew up at. We
You
want
know?
more of that. We want more opportunities for people to have intellectual conversations about finances so they can be exposed to opportunities to make money that they don't have to step on the toes of others, to where it won't be a lose lose or a win lose situation, it could be a win-win situation on both ends
Because for
when it
most of the
comes.
people who are tuned in, if you don't know where we are from, has been top three murder capital in this, for the last, I would say probably 20, 30 years. So understanding that this podcast is not just a podcast for us to just teach y'all something and then pitch y'all something that we can get paid off of, but we are saving our community. We're getting young men, we're teaching young men about getting LLCs and teaching them about taxes and teaching them little finance hacks and things that they can do within their spare time to create financial financial independence. You know what I'm saying? Financial
Facts.
independence.
And we teaching bro and sis that's out there that been doing the same thing for 10 years or is only exposed to
Mm,
certain information or was on
facts.
the block at a young age or end up having children at a young age to where they just had to get money a certain type of way and was just focusing on that plan and that ideal. And we're here to show you that there's other things to focus on that is more important than the shade room, that is more important than the Monday night football game that I got over there right now, even though I still love football. You
Yep.
know, there's more things that's important. What's important is having the financial wherewithal and freedom to do whatever you want, whenever you want, to take care of your people and your family members the way that you want
Yes, sir.
to go where you want to eat how you want to not say this is expensive. And it all comes down to a mindset and
Whew.
the way it all comes down to a mindset and your mentality and psychology and the way that you think about money. And that leads us into our topic of today. Our topic of today is the habit of money. Making money is a habit. Everything that you do is a habit. So the way that you make money right now is the habit that you have developed over these years.
This is a habit right
So
here.
So if you want to make more money, you want to develop new habits or better habits or more efficient habits. The habits that you're doing right now, if you're making good money right now, you want to be able to advance those habits and do them even better and more efficiently. To do
10x.
what? Make more money. You always got to 10x yourself. It goes back down to the psychology and the way that you think. Did you know from 0 to 7 years old, your mind is in a downloading process? And that's all you're doing. You're just looking and observing at your mom and your dad and your sisters and your brothers and your cousins and your friends and your teachers and TV shows and music and the radio. You're just observing these things. And from these things, you develop your habits and your actions and your character and the way that you make decisions. And that's 0 to 7. Now, 8 to 13 years old, now you're acting out on everything that you just downloaded. You're acting those things out that you heard your friends say at 5 years old. You're acting those things out that you seen on TV when you were 6 years old. You're saying those words that your mom were telling you when you were 5 or 6 years old. And
Mm,
now you have the mindset of what they were telling you that you were at that young age. Whether if that
mm,
was stupid, whether if that was slow, whether if that was intelligent, whether if that was smart, whether if that was ugly, pretty, stinky, whatever. Now you start to carry that around when you're in the third grade and you start to carry that around from third grade all the way up into what, eighth grade, 13 years old. And then once you reach 13 years old, eight to ninth grade, now you hit puberty. And guess what you start to do? You start to reject the information that you were given and download it between 0 and 7, and that you were acting out from 8 to 13. And now with the new hormones that you start to have your own thoughts and your own feelings between 13 and 25 years old. And between 13 and 25 years old, you start to develop your own personal character and the way that you are. Now, after 25 years old, that's when you're set in stone for who you truly are. And the only way that you change who you truly are after 25 years old is if something impactful happens to you, like a
mm.
car accident, like losing a best friend, like losing your mother, like dropping out of college, like getting that job, like not getting that job, like
Being the
coming
only
across
one
some
that can't go on
information that
trips.
made you, you feel me? Being the only one that can't go on trips, being able to find an information that literally stumped what you were taught from 0 to 25 years
Oh,
old. And you're
for
like,
real.
wow, this is totally different. I didn't know that
Right?
this was true.
Man.
And that's the way that your mind works. So now at 25 years old, you're making decisions about your finances from everything that you were living from 0 to 25, the way that I was explaining it. So the vocabulary and decisions that you've seen and observed your parents make about money and finances between 0 and 7 years old, that has a cause and effect on the way that you make decisions. And honestly, that's not just 0 to 7, that goes from 0 all the way to 18 and 25.
That's
Because
huge.
now when you're in college at 18 or when you out the house at 18 or whatever age you got out the house, those are the decisions that you are making. You're making decisions based off the way that you observed your parents do it or whoever you were around and got
Or
that
your
source of
habits
information
and
from.
what those habits did to you.
Exactly. So now you just got to come across something new to do something new. And some people have done that and ran it up and say, you know what? I'm about to read this book. I'm about to read Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. I was listening
Mhm.
to the old dude from Earn Your Leisure. I think it was Rashad. He was saying that he was always serious about his life. He was a hooper and he loved having fun growing up. But even as a kid, he said he was always serious about his life and making money. So even at 17 years old, he read Rich Dad Poor Dad.
And that's, and for all of you that may not know, Rich Dad Poor Dad is the #1 finance book to ever be created. It talks about finance and just ways to think about money and just overall just approach the way you make money, the way you think about money, the way you pass money on to your families. It's a huge book. So man, that's crazy.
Phenomenal book. And I just want you guys to know, if you just dig deep into your past and remember the way that you observed your parents making financial decisions, you'll find out exactly why you make the decisions that you make when it comes to your money habits. For example, growing up, I observed my parents having difficult conversations about money, which turned into arguments. Which in my adult life, I noticed that I was unconsciously having difficult conversations with my significant other, and they were turning into arguments too.
Hmm.
And I dig deep into my past and I realized that I observed my parents having these same issues. And I was living it out. Not even wanting to, it was just happening unconsciously. Because those were the deep, embedded, rooted habits that I had for years.
Man,
And the
that's
object
crazy.
in motion stays in motion until it's stopped by another object.
That's crazy.
We're that object to stop the money habits that you've been having right now, or to elevate the money habits that you've been having right now, or to just help you have a better mindset and ideal about money.
And you know
Period.
what? I think that that's
Quan gonna
crazy,
help
bro.
you with that too.
Man, I think that that's
Quan
crazy,
gonna
bro.
help y'all with that too.
Um,
I'm telling you.
Hey, that bro, I tell you, man, that's some phenomenal information, man. Because as I got older, I started, the time frame and the ages in which you spoke about when people are looking at money in a different way or certain habits or acting out or developing your own character. The funny thing is man, and this is a great time for me to actually kind of tell a little bit about myself. Um, I was kicked out of my house at 15 years old because by 15 I had realized that how I was being taught to live and how I was being taught to interpret life wasn't the way I wanted to live. I wanted to be a
Mhm.
professional athlete, which for all of you that haven't been here since the first episode, I played professional football overseas, a short stint with the CFL. I've played in college, been all American, been done all types of great things with football, and just like bro said, taking my life serious. But through that time of taking my life serious, it made others that I love feel like I felt like I was better than them. So it created a lot of turmoil in the household. And I knew that at some point in time, even though I was kicked out and there was days where I was living in abandoned houses and I didn't know where I was going to eat and I didn't know where I was going to sleep and I didn't feel safe and I was crying because I didn't have nobody checking on me, calling in or nothing like that. I knew that that alone time is where I needed to be to create the new Jaquan. So embrace those uncomfortable moments and embrace those times where you get separated from what you love because at some point in time, you have to create a mindset for yourself. And like bro said, I'm going to help you all with some habits and I'm just going to get into a little something just to kind of help you all out, just to kind of change the way you look at things. Okay, so the first thing I got is the power of habit. The power of habit is so huge. And I'm going to tell you why. Okay, Habits or
Get your
routines.
notebooks.
Yeah,
Everybody get your
get the
notebooks.
notebooks, get the god doggone, get everything rolling, man. I'm getting ready to give y'all some good stuff. I'm gonna make it as quick as possible. And I'm also gonna make sure y'all get the food that y'all need to eat. Okay. Habits are routines, behaviors, and actions we perform automatically and often without conscious thought. Okay, so understanding that your habits are not something that you just pick up one day and put down the next day. Like bro said, it's a continuous action that creates the person you are. Okay, they simplify our lives by allowing us to perform tasks with minimal mental effort. Meaning, because it's a habit, I don't have to think so much about it. I can just do it. Okay, Charles Duhigg in his book, The Power of Habit, describes habits as consisting of three key components: cue, routine, and reward. Number one, cue. This is a trigger that initiates the habit. It can be a specific time, place, emotional state, or an event. Okay, so let's just think, and let me say it again because I'm moving kind of
The
fast.
festival, when you go to the fair, when you go to that fair, when you go to that festival, when you see that Ferris wheel, when you see that truck that say elephant ear, you get in the elephant ear every time. There's some people
Facts.
that's getting the elephant ear every time. That's the cue.
For our lovers that see the Ferris wheel, and you remember that first time when you were 14, 15, and you got on the Ferris wheel with that girl that you love. You think every time you go, I don't care what anybody says, the first time you went to that Ferris wheel always comes back to mind that last time you go. Okay, so
Hmm.
knowing that habit or that one little thing that we have created in our mind to say, this is what I do when I get on here. How many of us don't really go on Ferris wheels unless we got our girl with us?
Hmm. That's the
What's the
cue.
Come on now, that's the cue. Okay, and routine. The routine is a behavior or action itself, which it is performed in response to the cue. Okay, again, the routine or the behavior or action itself, which is performed in response to the cue.
And
Okay,
what you
so
mean we gonna come to the fair and not get on no ride? I'm not about to come to Cedar Point and not get on no rides. What do you
come on
mean?
now, come
We
on.
at Cedar Points. I have to get on the ride.
I see rides. I know what I
That's
do when I see the rides. Now I want to follow routine. Now I
that's the
want to follow
routine.
routine.
You just
Now
trying to get on one ride? Hold on, wait,
one
what?
ride. We starting with the mag. We starting with the corkscrew. We start with the corkscrew. We just That's a warm up. We just want
Come
to
on
get twisted
now.
and turning before we go ahead and get on the Millennium Force. You know what I'm saying? Reward. After compelling the routine, there is a reward or benefit that reinforces the habit loop, making it more likely to be repeated in the future.
That rush, that dopamine, that whoo, that
Don't,
yeah.
hey,
You feel me?
hey, the
Man, this
dopamine is
feel
coming,
good. This tastes good.
man. Understanding the habit loop is essential to modifying or creating new habits. For example, if you want to establish a habit of daily exercise, the routine, you can use a cue such as setting a specific time right after waking up. Reward yourself with a healthy post workout snack. Okay. So let's go over that one more time. If you want to establish a habit, and you can plug in what it is you want to do for the routine, the cue, and everything else. Okay. So if you want to get into a habit of exercising daily, then I'm going to set the cue, which is the time. I might put an alarm on my phone. That's my cue. Let's go, Quan. Get up. Let's get active. Let's get rolling. And then after, I'm gonna get me a protein shake, and I'm gonna make sure I fill those muscles up, and then I'm feeling good. I'm gonna get the good protein shake though. I ain't gonna get the one that is like, I'm just gonna make sure that I recover my muscles. No, I'm gonna make sure I take care of my body. I'm gonna make sure I take care of my taste buds and my body on this one.
Yeah, make it
That
taste
way, I
good.
want
So
to
so
do
you
it
look
even more.
forward to it. Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? You want to look forward to it. And so now we're gonna go over the science behind habit formation. Okay, and with the science of habit formation, this is gonna allow us to start being in control. Because a lot of times, guys, and this is me too. This was me too. So let's not get it twisted, man. Woo, listen, it almost brings tears to my eyes thinking about how I thought my life would change on its own. Seriously, how many times did you just wake up like, damn, I want to be a millionaire? You look at these pictures and you look at these fucking dream goal boards and everything, and you like, this has got to be my
Mhm.
life. But it starts from the true detail. And this is why me and Brian, man, this is why this podcast is so huge, man, because this isn't just a sweet podcast that you can come on and you can just lock in, and we're gonna bring some millionaires on there and we're gonna talk about how you become a millionaire, but we're gonna actually help you guys change your mindset. And it starts with these habits. It starts with understanding the science behind why is something a habit. How do I create this habit? Because understanding certain things that if you watch 19 Keys and he talks about just your habits and what you're giving into and how that coexists with the other parts of your life, what you allow yourself to do that you know you're not supposed to do, and how that affects how you wake up in the morning. Because if we know at nighttime right before bed we're supposed to say our affirmations and we're supposed to do 20 push-ups and we don't do it in the morning, guess what? You're not going to do your morning routine. Why? Because you failed before you went to bed.
Come
Okay,
on.
so understanding the science behind how do I change my mental towards these habits. Okay, so habit formation is deeply rooted in neuroscience and psychology. And here we go. Number one, we got neuroplasticity. Our brains are adaptable and can rewire themselves through a process called neuroplasticity. When you repeat a behavior, the neural pathways associated with that behavior strengthen over time. This makes the habit more automatic. Okay.
Like
So
walking, when
understanding,
you were born, remember I was talking about 0 to 7.
come on now.
When you were 0, when you first came out, first day out, shout out T Grizzly, you ain't know how to walk. But what were you doing from 0 to 1 years old? You were looking at everybody walk.
Ooh,
What did you do eventually? You started walking and you
oh
sucked
my
at it. We
God.
all did. We all fell down walking. And guess what your brain built up the neuroplasticity to do? To go from unconsciously incompetent, not even knowing what walking was, to consciously competent, knowing what walking is, to unconsciously competent, walking without even thinking about it.
Come on now. Come on. And that I tell you, man, that makes a
And you
big
do that with
difference.
everything in your life. Every
Facts.
single thing in your
Man,
life you do that with.
and that's what we have to
And that's on
understand,
baby.
guys, because we can no faking. Because it's like this, guys. It's like understanding what we do and the way we do it and how it affects us will allow us to start taking control over what it is we're trying to get in our lives. See, in order to have great habits, or in order to do great things, you have to take control. Okay, we can no longer allow ourselves to just let our life just make decisions for us. And we wake up, we know we're supposed to be doing our push-ups, but instead whatever, we just do our thing. We stay in the bed an extra 30 minutes and we just get up and make breakfast. No, it's time to get up. It's time to make our bed. It's time to listen to that podcast. It's time to meditate. Okay, so we got to do those things. So the next thing we got, like bro said earlier, and I'm glad that he said it because it brought me to my point: dopamine. Okay, the brain releases dopamine as a neurotransmitter associated with pleasure and reward. When we engage in habits, this reinforces the habit loop by making us feel good when we complete a routine. It's important to note that all habits have positive rewards. I mean, not all habits have positive rewards. Some can be detrimental. Okay, so the habits, some of these habits that we're creating, okay, they can either create great rewards or they can create detrimental reward. But regardless, you're going to get a neural response from what it is you do. Okay, after that, we got habit stacking. Habit stacking. This is this is one of the main people who spoke on this is James Clear. In his book Atomic Habits, he just suggests that the concept of habit stacking. This involves attaching a new habit to an existing one, leveraging cues and routines already established in your daily life. Okay, so consistently doing those habits over time so that we create a strength that makes it second nature to us.
Hmm.
It makes it like, okay, we're waking up. What's the first thing I do when I wake up? I drink my water, I make my bed, and then I meditate and do my box breathing, and then whatever the case may be, and we go on so on and so forth. Okay, so understanding that that is key. to creating great habits in your life. Stacking the habits, stacking the days. If you play sports, how many times your coach says stack the days? Stack the
Yeah.
days, stack the days, or stack the reps. Okay, I was a guy in the weight room, man. I wanted to always stack the reps, meaning I gotta always get an extra couple reps in. So every time when everybody else was tired, and this, and let me give you guys a real true funnel into becoming a pro. If anybody here wants to become a pro athlete, you got to get comfortable with doing more than others. Who the hell, who in God's green earth gets a raise from doing what everybody else does? So you have to create a
I can't
habit.
think of nobody.
Come on now. You think if Elon Musk was just like somebody mama who worked down at the dang on market, do you think he would be Elon Musk? No. He had to stack habits. He had to study every day. When his homeboys was going out, he was learning about how he could become eco-friendly to the world and how he could utilize those substantial and those sustainability techniques to generate money in his business. So those are things that we have to do. And the last habit that we have, the last one we have is keystone habits. Some habits, known as keystone habits, have a domino effect, positively influencing other areas in your life. For example, regular exercise often leads to improved eating habits and increased productivity. So, what I'll tell you guys, when I started my morning routine, and my morning routine involves exercise and things of the sort, I was able to then, after working out and after eating good for breakfast, then I go into my business and I start working within my business. And it makes no sense to be great with my morning routine and then not make sure that I'm working on my business after. It didn't even neurally make sense to me. So now because I do my morning routine, now I'm able to just flow into my company and just start building. And then my
Mhm.
brain is shooting off different ideas. And I've been more creative when I've been building great habits than I have been when I was just letting flying by the seat of my pants. Okay.
Mhm.
So yeah, man. I, I,
Let's
I would
go.
I would love us to really, I would love us to really start number one, setting some clear goals so that we're able to make habits based on our goals. You feel what I'm saying? And then utilize these techniques to start building habits. Because once you start building your habits, then you get closer to those opportunities that me and bro talk about with finance, man. Finance is not just, it's not just about money. Because I tell you what, shout out to Ashley Fox. I just got off her 5-day virtual summit on investing in some things that I will talk about a little bit later on within this
Mhm.
podcast. But it's about the consistency of investing, not investing. No, you're not going to invest the first day and be rich. No, you're not going to collect banger dividends after one investment. We got to invest over time. And then after we start investing month one, month two, month three, month four, month five, month six. Now I'm doubling and I'm tripling and I'm quadrupling the amount that I'm investing because I want to see more returns. So that's the habit stacking. I've created a habit, and now because I've created the habit, now I want to do more because that's a part of habit stacking. So make sure you habit stack and make sure you get locked in and make sure you get obsessed with the hey, I'm asset driven. That's what I say. I'm an asset driven guy. So I have to habit stack in order to be asset driven because if you don't habit stack, then that's not going to be something that you do consistently.
That's right. That's right. Because getting wealthy, the way that the wealthy get wealthy through life insurance policies,
Mm,
through bonds, CDs, what else? ETFs, index funds, and stocks. It's all about long-term investing that they invest in every month through dollar cost averaging over time. And
hallelujah.
they have the intellect and the patience to wait for their money to stack, and it's a habit. It's
Mm.
a habit for them to take $100 out of their check a week to put into a stock or ETF. Is it habit for them to take $1,000 out every month to invest into an asset?
Why not,
It's a
guys?
habit that when they get their bonus, they don't cash out on their bonus on a new toy. They go and put it on an asset so their money can grow.
I'm
That's
curious.
what the
I'm
wealthy do.
curious for the viewers. I'm curious for the viewers for you to just, take maybe the next 10 seconds to think, what is your habits when you get your check? Do you spend? Do you go to McDonald's and get the god doggone the chicken sandwich with
Every
extra
time I get paid, I
sauce?
get something special for myself when it comes to food now. I'm
No,
getting
no.
I'm getting the Einstein Bagel Bros brisket sandwich with the bagel,
You
off the
feel
double
me?
baked hash brown with the blended iced coffee drink. Then I'm taking my girl out to eat later. Then I, you know what I'm saying? Might have a
You
night
just
on the
spent,
town. You feel me?
you just
Like
spent
that's
a hundred
that's money.
dollars,
That's money I'm already spending on bills.
bro, off
I
the
ain't even
rip.
consider. I ain't consider my bills or nothing. I'm spending money on me first. Person.
No, for real. And that's, you know what though? That is, and when we think about our habits, then we can start thinking about, oh, okay, this is where I'm at on the side of the spectrum. So when we start thinking about the habits, and when I think about habits and I write habits down and I just put it at the top of my paper and I split it in half. And then I figure out, do my habits fit on the consumer side or do they sit on the producer side? And then from there,
Mm.
I'm able to understand what I need to be doing in order to be successful within my life. If my habits all add up to, you know what? When I get my check, the first thing I do is I get 10 shares of whatever company I'm investing in. And then I go and I put a little bit in the S&P 500. And then I go and I put money in my emergency fund. Okay. But on the other side, we've got Big Buford from Checkers.
Oh yeah. Oh
Big
yeah.
Buford from Checkers.
Oh
We
yeah.
didn't went, we got to go to Debo's Bar and Grill.
You
and
know.
then and then you know what, we're gonna go down to the park and we're gonna have a picnic and we're gonna buy all the food for the picnic. And don't
You
get me
feel
wrong,
me?
guys, we want you guys to enjoy your lives and we want you guys to do things that your families can benefit off of. But sometimes in order to do those things, we have to first habit stack so that we're able to give our families what it is that they truly deserve. Because
Yeah.
we may be taking them on a picnic today, but if we habit stack and we invest the proper way for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, we could be in Turks and Caicos. That's where
Here's
they
the
really want to go.
craziest. This the craziest habit that we about to have right here. That everybody about to do. Of course, we got Halloween people about to spend bread on. Of course, we got Thanksgiving
Uh
people
oh.
about to spend bread on.
Uh
But
oh.
that Christmas and that New Year's, when people that don't even got it cash out
Oh Lord.
just for their loved ones,
Oh Lord.
and they going to the New Year
Oh Lord.
broke,
Oh
broke
Lord.
as a joke,
As a joke. and you
broke
know,
as a
and,
joke.
and
When
you
you
know,
can, just like I was talking about, I don't mean to cut you off, but you could
no,
be
go, bro.
simply right now between right now and Christmas time. How I'm talking about on Fridays when I get paid, I get the Einstein Bagel Bros brisket bagel breakfast sandwich with the egg for $15 off the double baked hash brown with the parfait blended coffee boy
I'm
for
crying,
15,
bro.
$17. A share of AT&T is $15.
And you will collect dividends from it, just in case you're wondering.
What's the dividend, Quan?
Dividends is some money that you will be paid from a company based on the value of that company going up. So every time they get paid and that value goes up, guess who gets paid? You can either get that quarterly, half a year, or at the end of the year. So understand, you can get paid to invest.
Just because you own it,
Come on
just
now.
because you own a share, they're gonna give you a dividend. Each share you own, they give you a dividend on that share. So if they give you every 3 months AT&T $1.25 on each share, if
Each
you
share.
had 1,000 shares, how much is that?
Come on now.
And the
Come
shares
on now.
cost $15.
Come on now.
You can at least have 50 shares because I'm spending that $15 a week on the Einstein Bagel Bros or something else. So we can also spend that $15 a week on the stock
And it's almost
that's
like
going to
this.
grow and pay us.
And let's do the numbers on this, guys.
Habit stack.
So, right, habit stacking. So, let's do some quick numbers. So, there's 52 weeks in a year, correct? So, with that 52 weeks in a year, if you invest in AT&T every week, just $15 a week, we know we spending $15 a week. That means you will have 52 shares of AT&T. Now, times that by 5 years, and then we start talking about those dividends rolling in.
Now we talk about real money. Hey, stop getting me hyped, bro. Now we talk about real money. We
Come
talking about the
on.
stuff that the wealthy people be on. We talking about the fact that somebody right now got $100 coming out their check every single week going into Apple, and they not touching that for 10 years. And Apple give you dividends. And the dividends can be automatically reinvested for you.
Mm, mm. Because, like we told y'all in the first episode, understand that that little dollar that you got in your wallet, it don't mean nothing if it's not connected to an asset. So, really, honestly, just putting your money in this stock and allowing your money to sit in this stock allows you to really have true value and net worth. A lot of us don't have net worth because we don't own assets. Every time you get a share in a company, you own an asset.
I
So,
got a
start
Gucci shirt
acquiring
though, bro. I
assets.
got some Gucci shoes. What you mean?
Oh man, look, and the funny thing
What you
is,
mean, bro?
while you're investing in those Gucci shoes, they're growing in the market.
Why you invest in those Gucci shoes? You could be investing in LMVH, Louis
And I'll
Vuitton,
tell you,
Moet Hennessy, and be invested in Gucci.
and I'll tell you this: when you, and like bro said earlier, when you guys invest in, let's say Meyer, and you guys go to Meyer and y'all splurge for what do you call it, for Christmas and stuff like that. That's when I'm gonna buy in right before Christmas. And when that stock goes up, guess what? And this is something that I'm really a hold your stock type of guy. But I know that you guys are gonna knock that damn share price up of those other stock markets. So I'm gonna acquire as many shares as possible before Christmas because once y'all start going and buying all the damn gifts, guess what? The value of that stock is gonna go up, and then I'll pull out that money that I got in value and then reinvest it
Hmm.
again.
You feel me? And being able to habit stack enough to be able to consume the information to get to a level to where you can understand that when you know that Christmas time is coming up and people are about to spend more money in the marketplace on these goods, even between Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas, you will be able to put in option plays. What are option plays? Option plays are when you bet when a stock will go from one price to another, and you benefit off that times 100,
Man,
times 100. Because when it comes to option plays, you just don't buy one share. One option share equals 100.
easy.
So if you're betting that a company is going to grow from $175 to $200 within the next 3 months, and you get 10 shares, that 10 shares equals, remember it's $100 per share, that 10 shares equals 1,000 shares. So if you end up getting that difference of the stock value going from $175 per share
You could
to
change your whole
$200
goddamn
per
life.
share, which is $25 per share, and you have 1,000 shares, that's $1,000. That's a $25 times 1,000.
You're changing your life.
Rewind that back if you ain't catch that. Rewind that back.
You're absolutely changing your life.
Yeah. So let's get there. This is our financial awakening. It's time to wake up
Yes,
to where we can be able to make different money plays and change the trajectory of our families' lives, change the trajectory of our lives, so we can live and experience that now, but also do enough to where our family members can experience it while we're gone.
absolutely, brother.
We about to
Absolutely.
get into these money minutes, man.
Yeah.
Since we talking about
Go.
stocks, bro. Since we talking about stocks, let's talk about this stock called Cintas. Now, Cintas, it is a company that provides uniforms, rugs, soap, paper towel dispensers, toilet paper dispensers, first aid kits, and more. When
How
it
you
comes to
spell that, bro?
Cintas, that is Cintas. Now, when
Perfect.
it comes down to this company, you've probably seen their white trucks driving around with dark blue lettering and that red underlining driving around the city. You've probably seen them bringing in new rugs, taking out the old rugs. You've probably seen them dropping off uniforms for your company or others. You've probably seen them changing out those first aid kits. When it comes down to it, any company, brick and mortar establishment that's operating on a huge scale that got 500 employees or more, shoot, even sometimes 10 or 20 employees or more, they have contracts with Cintas. And Cintas, their stock price is over $700 per share right now.
Sheesh.
They have such a strategic advantage within the marketplace that you need their products. Their $700 share price is more than Amazon. That's more than Apple's share price. That's more than Google's share price. That's more than Tesla's share price. That's more than Microsoft's share price. I can even throw Meta in there, aka Facebook.
Yes, sir.
This company is a giant in its field. And when it's come to growth, where will they stop? How will they when we need their products? You need toilet paper, you need paper towel, and they provide the dispensers for all of that. They provide those defibrillators. So they got it set up so smooth when it comes to use of ease. Because if you have a use of ease, business owners take note. If you have a use of ease with your product, if it's easy to use, easy to sign up, easy to cancel, whatever, people get it more. So all I do, the company that I work for, they have uniforms. The company don't make the uniforms. Cintas, they make the uniforms. They bring them. We have all the uniforms that we need. I probably got about 10 of them things. The pants with the shirts, long sleeve, short sleeve, everything. I wear my uniforms throughout the week. And guess what? On Wednesday, I put my uniforms in the bin. Guess what Cintas do? They come
Well,
and they put all the uniforms in the bin, the
well,
old dirty ones. And guess what they do? They
sheesh.
bring you some new ones. They go and they wash those, and guess what? Next week they bring it back the clean ones. And what you doing? You giving them your dirty ones.
Sheesh.
They're needed.
Jesus.
Great play. Great
And
play. You want to be able to invest in companies that are needed.
that, somebody, man, I forgot who I was just tapped in with, man, but he said something that was so huge. And a lot of times a lot of people are saying, do what you're passionate about, do what you're passionate about. And he said sometimes business isn't based on what you're passionate about, but your why is what you're passionate about. So like bro is
Mm.
saying right there, that Syntest, that's a crazy business, because at the end of the day, we know that people need uniforms for their business. We know they need soaps, paper towel. They need stuff to run a bit. Everybody needs that. It don't matter what business. If you have a building and you have human beings in it, we need soap.
You think you're just walking over that rug at that company, at that business, they got their logo on it, their name on it, but there's a company that literally take those rugs every Wednesday, bring in new rugs, wash those old dirty ones, and bring them back.
And
And
don't
we
think
just
that
walking over and
service
we don't
isn't
think
involved
about
in the
it.
price. Don't think that service isn't involved in the price. So you're paying for the service, the overall, they are providing that service for you, but you're also paying for the fact that they're coming and washing those things and making sure that they're taken care of for you. You're also paying for that service too, so that's included too. So understand, when you start creating business with needs, you also can start outsourcing and start bringing other parts of the business. You can have different streams of income within the business.
That's how you truly make multiple streams of income. You know, people listen to millionaires and hear them say that you have to have at least 7 streams of income if you want to truly be a millionaire. And they take that wholeheartedly and they start 7 different businesses
Yep.
instead of starting one business with 7 different services or products in it that gains them multiple streams of income.
Come on now. Come on now.
Yep.
That's
Hey man, what
huge.
you got for Money Minutes? You telling me you got some fire, man. What's popping?
Listen here, brother. So check this out. So as I've been, like we talked about today, I was in a cash flow summit today with Ashley Fox. 5 day summit, man, is just teaching us and developing something that a lot of people are not very knowledgeable on, and that's REITs. Okay, those are
Mm.
stocks, and I'm gonna give you the information behind this stuff. I'm gonna give you the scientific definition behind it. We're gonna give you some plays, and then I'll give you a few REITs that you guys can use and you guys can start investing in, and we'll start looking up some prices and stuff like that, and I'll give you guys some prices and help you guys out with that. So what we got here is a real estate investment trust. It's a type of investment vehicle that allows individuals to invest in diverse portfolios of real estate properties. REITs are companies that own, operate, and finance income producing real estate across various sectors, including residential, commercial, industrial, and retail properties. They offer a way for investors to gain exposure to real estate market without having to buy and manage physical properties themselves. So understand, if you're interested in real estate and you love the way real estate works, and you know and you understand liquid and getting taking equity out of properties and all that different type of stuff, get this: diversified income within REITs. REITs are required by law to distribute at least 90% of their taxable income to shareholders in the form of dividends. This can make them attractive for income focused investors, as they often provide a steady stream of dividend payments. So, some of these companies are paying monthly, they're paying annually, they're paying quarterly. So, understand that when you're involved in this type of investing, you can start creating cash flow. So, like bro was saying, if you get to investing in REITs and you get to, let's say I buy, there's some REITs out here that are paying you $1.25 a month. Let's say you start buying 10 of those a week, and some of these REITs are going for $10. Let's say you spend $100 a week, because we all spend $100 a week. Let's say you spend $100 a week on on 10 REITs. Okay, now we're looking at getting that money consistently weekly.
And don't be
Weekly.
that person that got an extra three, four, $5,000 laying in your bank account, not doing nothing, not growing, because that bank account not giving you no growth for real, especially if it's not in a credit union with a high
Man,
yield savings account. Take
man,
take 2 racks of that
man.
money. Go ahead and put it in that REIT with all them shares and get all them dividends and start getting that monthly income.
So you can start creating
And
passive
thank me
income.
later.
So for the people who want passive income, and we hear stuff about vending machines, we hear stuff about ATMs and all these different type of things. If you want to get monthly income and you want to get that residual income monthly, or whatever the case may be, just like the people who have real estate, you can do that, but you can do that through REITs. Okay. Then we got how you getting liquid. REITs are typically traded on a major stock exchange, which means they are relatively liquid compared to owning physical real estate. Investors can buy and sell REIT shares on open market like regular stocks. Okay, so understand that. Understand your diversification. REITs often own a portfolio of properties across different geographic regions and property types. The diversification can help spread risk and reduce the impact of poor performance in a single property or a market. Okay, so some of their properties might not hit. That's okay, because these are $1 million companies, guys. When we say commercial, we mean some of these people are selling buildings to Walmart. They're selling buildings to Target. They're selling buildings to your favorite Dave and Buster's and all these different types of places. So you're able to make sure that you're getting that income regardless of what one property might be doing. Okay.
Mm,
Um,
that's
let's
major.
talk about let's talk about the tax advantages. REITs themselves are not subject to federal income tax as long as they meet certain criteria, such as distributing most of the income goes to the shareholders. Okay. However, shareholders are generally taxed on the dividends they receive from REIT investments. Okay. So you will be taxed, but you won't be taxed until you take that money out. Okay. So understand that you can continue growing and building your wealth until you take that money out. They're going to tax you, but that's okay, because once you've built a big portfolio, let's not be afraid of taxes, guys. That's one thing that I just learned today, and I think that that's so huge. Let's not be afraid of taxes. Let's build a portfolio to where if we're giving $1 million in taxes, that means we got 10, 15. Okay,
Facts. Yes, sir.
let's create that type of cash flow. So we have the ability
And
to create cash
mindset.
flow. It's the
And
mindset, guys.
mindset that
Don't
it's
think from a
okay to pay
scarcity
taxes.
mindset. We can't think from a scarcity mindset. We have to think from an investor. We have to think from being producers. We have to stop thinking about being consumers and what we can save so we can go and get the next pair of Gucci's, and think about how we can continue to invest so that we can create cash flow, so that when it's time to get what we want, we can, guys. We've all bought something sweet. We've all wore a pair of Gucci's. We've all wore a pair of Pradas. We've all bought some high class fashion. But have we all had six figures? Have we all had $1,000 coming in cash flow monthly from just our REITs?
Hmm.
Let's change the way we think about money.
Facts. I remember I was thinking when I first learned about stocks and I first learned about how to look at a stock and how to study a stock. how to
Mhm.
look at a stock and its growth from its inception. And you can look at a stock like Apple, and right now Apple is probably I don't know how much it is right now. It's probably like $170 or $60 right
Yeah,
now.
I think it was 170
Um,
last time I checked.
Apple's 170 right now. If you look back from 2023, mind you, stocks puts or whatever, but if you look back from right now, 2023 to 2003, let's do some research together. I ain't even about to talk about it.
Oh, don't
I got
start
the
no
stock.
mess,
I
bro.
got the.
Don't
I
start
got
no
the
mess,
stock
bro. Don't
thing on
start
my
no mess,
phone.
bro.
I'm about to
Because
stop talking about it. Apple is
the
at
number,
173
oh,
right now. How far back is they gonna let me go when I
two,
look
no,
at?
bro, it was like two shares. It was two shares. It was
Uh,
like two shares of Apple since
they ain't gonna
2002.
they ain't gonna let me look, but basically, like probably Apple in 2003 was probably I can't look at it right now. I can't see it, so I'm just guessing. Apple share in 2003 hypothetically was probably like $6 a share in
Hmm.
2003.
Yes.
What's $6 a share plus? What's the difference between $6 and 173 and 75 cents? You know what I'm saying? Let's just do the math. 173.75 minus $6.50. That's $167.25 growth. So that means that I've had between 2003 and 2023 to get as many shares of Apple as I can. And they used to be $6 a share, hypothetically. So what if at that time that company that was $6 a share like Apple, like Amazon was,
Mm,
like Netflix was,
mm, mm,
like Tesla was, if you invested in it
mm.
every week, every month, every year, and didn't touch it, and woke up 20 years later because you partnered yourself with a dominant company and spent your money with them on an asset, not just buying the cell phone, not just
Right.
buying the
Making them money.
wearables, but also buying the stock and being able to benefit financially from it. If my parents taught me that in 2003, I would have been taking I was 10 years old in 2003. I'm 30. I would have been taking my extra money that I had all the time and just throwing it into Apple.
$6 a month.
Throwing it
6
into Apple, you know?
because we have to be okay with teaching our kids these type of tools, guys. It's so crazy that you say that because I just seen, not just seen, but it was like maybe a year or two ago. I had seen the it was like two shares of Apple from 2002 to like 2020. If you just had two shares, was like, I think it said it was something crazy, like, or it was some type of equation. It was like 1.2. I'm like, it was, or some, not, maybe
Wow.
not two shares, but it was like something that it was something. It was, I'm so mad that I forgot what the equation was. But regardless, what it was, like, it just grew so much, of the stock grew so much over time, that if you had just a few shares of it, you would be loaded right now. And it was like, it was so crazy because they give us that information because they literally are telling you your inability to take a chance on investing is the reason why you can't be rich later on. We spend so much time
Mhm.
investing in 401ks, which I'm not going to knock a 401k. If that's your first start to investing in yourself and investing in your retirement, I'm not knocking that. But if you know that S&P 500, and if you know that certain stocks are going to continue to grow, like, it would make no sense for us not to put a couple dollars in Tesla, guys. They're freaking making rocket ships and making cars, and Elon Musk just said that now you can put your Tesla on a taxi cab app, and it will work as a taxi for you now. So now you don't even have to be in your car. You put your Tesla on the taxi app, and then it picks up people by itself and makes you money while you're at home. Why would you not invest in? So what
Excuse
do you
me?
think that company will be in the
Excuse
next
me?
20? Yes, bro. I almost fell out my seat when I seen that shit. I was like, bro. I'm like, bro, what?
You
So
can do what?
so guys, be innovators. Start thinking about what things will be now. Stop paying attention to what it's doing now and what it's becoming now and what your Uncle Osi said about how companies gonna fail. No,
Yeah, what your
don't.
auntie Lucy said about
Yeah,
Bitcoin and cryptocurrency.
they don't know. They don't know because they didn't create those things, guys. And you can't listen to people who aren't creating wealth. You can only listen to people who are creating wealth and who are
Mm,
educating themselves on what it is because what they think they see, those eyes that they have, is only based off of guess what bro talked about earlier, what they created within the 0 to 7. See, they've seen the market fall. They've seen Detroit before they built 75 through Black Bottom. They seen what the economy was, so their mind is still kind of skewed based on what they've seen over time. But guys, we've got the opportunity to rewire and rework, so let's not fall back into those traps.
that's right. That's right. We have to do like Derek Grace said, unlearn and relearn.
Yes,
Unlearn
sir.
the things that aren't doing us any good. If you're not touching the paper that you want right now, if you're not providing for your family the way that you want right now,
Change the
if
way
you're
you
not
think right now.
traveling and doing it, that's what I'm getting to. Just change the way you think, period. Start some
Right
new
now.
habits. If you're not experiencing life the way that you want to, you got to do something different. And it's okay if you make six figures. It's okay if you
Yep.
make $200,000. But you can make $200,000 and not be fulfilled, bro. It's millionaires and
Mhm.
billionaires that kill themselves because they're not fulfilled. Because they don't even know what to do with their money because their mentality messed up.
And
So
how
this
about
money habit
this?
thing is big. That's why we're here for you.
And how about this too, guys? Also understanding, you could be a six-figure earner right now. You could even be a millionaire. But it's not just about what money you have. It's about what money you can pass down. It's about what habits you can pass down. It's about the wealth and the generations that you could change based on your decisions. If we go all the way back into slavery and we start learning about why our people behave and do things the way they do things. We can blame every other race, we can blame all the different cities, we can blame everything else, but it's what happened and what happened systematically to us through slavery, through America, and through when we were free, but they still were killing us because we were free, because it was
Hmm.
something that they gave us. It's so many different systematic slaveries and oppressions that our minds have been skewed into, and the habits that we've had to create based on the only freedoms that we were given. So understanding that if you start rewiring the way you think about things, it's going to take some work, it's going to take some habits,
Yeah.
it's going to take some failures. No, you're not going to do it every morning. Sometimes you're going to fail and you're not going to do it in the morning. Let's get up the next morning and do it, or let's do it right when we wake up, or let's do it before we go to sleep. I'm going to make sure if I didn't do something this morning, before I go to bed I complete it. Okay, and then in the morning we're going to do that habit the right way we need to. And I also got a few habits that I want you guys to start doing in your morning routines, just to start becoming better with yourself, just to start becoming better and preparing yourself for money, guys. And number
Hmm.
one, we'll do journaling. Okay, making sure you journal. Okay, making sure you journal. But actually, before we journal, let's make our beds, guys. Let's make our beds. Let's make our beds. Why? Because that's the first win of the day. And what did we talk about earlier? We talked about habit stacking. So once we start creating that first habit, which is making our beds, folding our bed linen, making sure that our clothes are folded the night before, so that when we wake up, we're able to be efficient in the morning. Those are some habits. Meditation, making sure you're meditating. Okay, making sure you're creating mindfulness so that you can be efficient. Drinking water. Drinking water. Why do we drink water? Because water is 70% of our body. So understanding, when you wake up in the morning, you drink water, you start create that's like the gas that you put in your body to start getting your body flowing, your cylinders turning, and you start getting yourself towards success. Leaving your phone and emails aside for the first hour of your day. Okay? Write your habits and write your habits and your routine on a piece of paper, so that when you get up in the morning, you're just focused on doing you. You're just focused on developing you. Yoga, some type of short workout, Okay, understanding that workout, pumping that iron or those push-ups or that stretching. Number one, it gets the blood flow going. We got to get some blood flow going. We drunk our water. Now we want to get some blood flow going so that we're able to open up and create different passages and warm up different passages in our minds and our bodies so that we can be effective for the things that we have to do for the day. Creating a gratitude list. Create that gratitude list. Okay, before we can start accepting things and getting things, we have to be grateful for the things we have. Because if we always think in a scarcity or a less than or a not had mindset, we can't get what God has for us because God can only give us something based on where we're at. He can't give you money if you're not mentally prepared to do it. I can't lie to you guys. It's been times where I have made six figures, and because my mental wasn't ready, I blew it all. It's not hard
Yep.
to make money, but it's hard to sustain it and make it grow. Okay,
I've
we have
been
to be in
there.
the mindset to make
There's
it
a time when my mother passed away, and I was able to be blessed with $36,000 that she left for me.
hmm
I ain't putting out a penny into the stock market.
hmm
And I ain't got that bread.
hmm
But if I
Hey,
knew what I
and
knew
we be
right now
sick.
today, you know what I'm saying? If I knew what I knew right now today, then I would be able to operate in a different fashion. But
Man,
all I knew was what I knew. And I was looking forward to coming up
yeah,
off that 36 grand that I was blessed with the way that I knew
I knew.
how.
Woo!
And we gotta stop being so hard headed when it
Yep,
comes to new information and what I know.
yep. I
Because
come
what you
from
know,
this. I don't know nothing about
you
that.
feel me? For example, my girl, I'm in an occupation to where I'm making damn near six figures. Like, I'm almost there. You know what I'm saying?
Fire.
And with that being said, my
Ring the
girl was
bell for
telling
my
me,
dog right quick. Ring the
you feel
bell.
me?
Ding, ding,
My girl was
ding.
telling me about a opportunity that I can go in and already be making six figures. So I'm looking to grow in the position that I'm already in to continue to make six figures and even more. But there's something else out there that if I stop being hard headed and so focused on what I want to do and have an
Yeah,
open mind instead and look at another opportunity, I
yeah.
can go to the other opportunity and make six figures. And guess what? In the next 3, 4 years, end up making $500,000 a year to $1 million a year. Because the industry that she was telling me about that I fit the mold for, that's what they do.
And
And
it's
this
only
industry
growing.
that I'm talking about in the tech industry and technology sales, there are some people in this industry that if they don't make $1 million a year, it was a failure.
hmm
They really scale up.
Come on now.
They really scale up. So there's something right now. There's an opportunity for you out there. There's a money play out there.
Come
There's
on now.
something that you got to literally focus in on, take it seriously, and see it through
Come on.
and benefit from it. But
Come
if
on.
you're so focused on what you already doing, you're gonna continue to get what you already got.
which is
Plain and
why
simple.
which is why these habits are so important, guys, because what these start doing is they start rewiring and reworking your mind based on new habits and new things. Because after we've got that gratitude list, then we're going to practice our affirmations. We're going to practice affirmations. We're going to start saying things, and we're going to start be be obsessed with what it is you're focused on. So if it is to become a millionaire, wake up in the morning, look at yourself in the mirror, and tell yourself you're a millionaire every morning.
Come on
Wake up
now.
in the morning and tell yourself you're an executor, you're a closer. Because
And
we
if
got to
you're not
start
serious
doing
about being a
things.
millionaire. I
You
hope you
feel
know that. If you're not saying that, you're not serious about being a millionaire.
you're not serious. You're not, because in order to get your brain in a mindset where it's like, oh, I could rest tonight or I could execute, you're gonna execute, guys. Sometimes, listen, I'll sit, I'll make a pallet on this floor in this office, and I'll stay in here until I completed my goals. I'll lay down on this floor and I'll get back up. Sometimes it takes you to be able to be obsessed with what you're doing and have these goals on the walls and have them written on piece of paper so that you're able to execute. Um, also,
And if you're fortunate enough to make a hit song or do an
swear,
NFT like how the NFTs was booming, or if you just or hit the lottery and you come up on a couple $1 million, that's cool. You did that.
swear.
But now what you gonna do with it?
if you don't create those habits. If you don't have these habits, that money will be gone faster than you made it.
Yes, sir. So that leads us into something very important. This very important thing has to do with the workers of shout out to the workers of the big
Hey,
three.
making
Man,
it possible for Detroit to have some vehicles around here.
come on, man, making it possible for the world to have vehicles, man.
Swear.
We the ones around here. So when it comes down to the big three to Ford, General Motors, and Stellantis, right now over 25,000 workers are on strike. And they have demands because they're tired of the way that they have been living. And they possibly could be coming up on some more cheese, but hopefully the habits that they have will help them to spend that cheese wisely. Now, when
Absolutely.
it comes down to it, these 25,000 workers, they have demands. The demands are to increase the wages 40%, have better retirement plans, have cost of living adjustments, and also have 4-day work weeks. Now, right now, every 4 weeks, the UAW, the United Autos Worker Union, they renegotiate their contracts for their workers that they have with the big three, these companies. Now, right now in negotiation, instead of just negotiating, they decided just to go on strike because the way that the cost of living is and inflation is just honestly unfair. You
It is
know, if
something.
you are a part of these companies and you building these cars and you cannot afford the car that you build, that's some BS and you deserve more. You provide our country and you provide the world with vehicles.
And
And I
trillions
commend
of
you for
dollars
that.
in revenue.
Trillions of dollars of revenue.
Poor
Actually, the
family is
big
worth
three,
trillions of dollars. So
the big
understand it. The Ford family that is living and breathing and thriving, the ones who own the Detroit Lions, they are living, breathing, and thriving off of the hard work and labor of these hard workers. They're creating trillions of dollars for these biz. I think they said something like these companies have 30 generations worth of money. 30
yes, they
generations.
do.
So that money has to be given to our workers because guess what? If they're providing all of that money and all of that and creating and making the economy flow, because let's be real, before cars, the economy wasn't the way it is. So, in order for the economy to continue to grow to where now there's an electric car industry now, it started with these workers. So, we got to make
It
sure that
started
we
with these
pay.
workers, 100%. It started with these workers, 100%. And I want to talk about how right now the renegotiation of this contract is about to boost the cost of the average worker. I'm not sure what the cost of the average worker per labor hour is right now, but per labor hour right now, no, in the future, each worker cost per labor hour will be $150 per hour. If they get the demands that they want from over the past 3 years, Ford, General Motors, and Stellantis making $250 billion over the past three
Wow.
years. That's a quarter trillion dollars.
Wow.
If these demands go up, each worker, each labor, it will cost about $150 for them. Now, this is significant because when it comes to a company like Tesla, which General Motors, Ford, and Stellantis are trying to catch up to Tesla. All of these companies, they have promises to, we're going to make all of our cars all electric by 2030, by 2035. It's going to be
Man,
all electric. They're trying to catch up to Tesla. And they're using our brothers and sisters and aunties and uncles' blood, sweat, and tears to catch up to Tesla.
come on now.
So they got to pay up. But guess what Tesla is doing? Tesla, they don't have unions. Foreign car makers, BMW, Mercedes-Benz, whatever foreign Toyota, Audi, whatever foreign car makers that make cars over here, there's no unions over here, as well as with Tesla. There's unions in other countries for the foreigners, but not over here. So Tesla does not have a union. So it's not the same protections. What Tesla workers get is stocks. They don't have a union. So guess how much it costs per labor hour for a Tesla worker? $45 to $50 an hour. Tesla is about to be paying less money per hour, which they already do for their worker, than the big three does, which means that Tesla will end up making more money in this EV market or in the car market, period, because it's cheaper to make their product. And actually, the cost of the Tesla vehicle, despite which model, it has been decreasing each year and being more affordable to get. And the price of the EV cars that's about to be made by the big three or that are made by the big three, they're the most expensive cars that they have in their fleets.
Crazy.
It's major moves and major plays going on.
That's
So if
crazy.
you know that and you identify that, you know that a company like Tesla stock is going to go crazy because they have more money for research and development and more money to give you when it comes to the stock and dividends. And
That's
the
amazing.
big three, they're gonna be spending all of their money on the workers that deserve it for real. Not saying that Tesla workers don't deserve it. Not saying that the other workers don't deserve it, but Tesla's work, they get stocks.
And they also create, and Tesla also creates easier ways to create these vehicles. Guys, I've worked for the big three, and I remember working for a tire plant, and I can remember throwing at least and stacking at least 3,000 tires a night. 3,000 tires a night with my hands, literally lifting the tires off the truck, putting them onto the conveyor belt, lifting that belt, and doing that 3,000 times. I can almost guarantee you Tesla's not doing
Wow.
it. So I can let you know, and it's just like I told my brother the other day, man. I can tell you, I think that Tesla is paying for the vehicle to be put together, versus I think that the big three has to pay for the actual worker. They're paying for the worker, guys. They're paying for the worker because that worker is working their ass off. They're killing themselves. That guy that's working at Tesla, I can guarantee you, they're not breaking their backs the way a big three auto worker is. So understand
And
why
have been
certain
for
companies
years
do
and
what they
have been
do.
for almost 100 years.
Come on now. So it's like understanding what companies are paying for. They understand, but do you?
Ooh. And then you gotta line yourself up with the right companies that has the same ideals and mission statement as you when it comes
Values.
to values as you. If you working with a company right now that, yeah, they pay is good, but this super, super long hours, there's probably a company out there that pay is good and they got better hours.
No, for
If you
real.
messing with
No,
a company right
seriously.
now that pay is boo boo, but they got a good benefit plan, there's probably a company out there that pay is great with a good benefit plan. And you have to be able to strategically align yourself up with these
Yes.
companies. You have to
Yes.
be able to make strategic plays. I'm 30 years old. And
Yep.
before 30 years old, I was thinking strategically, trying to align myself up with the right people, places, situations, so I can make the right circumstances in my life and live a fulfilled life the way that I desire.
And
And
abundant.
that's
Yes,
what we
sir.
want for all. That's what we want for you all. That's why
Yes,
we here.
sir. That's why we
That's why
here.
we here.
That's killer right there, brother. That's
Man.
killer right there.
So, what you get out of today, man? What was your biggest takeaway?
I tell you what, man. At first, it was the information that you gave at the beginning when you were talking about just how people develop habits over, the first 0 to 7 years of their life. But then when we started talking about the big three, man, that really it hits home for me. Number one, because I worked in the big three at one point in my life. My grandfather did. I'm sure everyone's either grandfather, uncle, father, or some point in time, somebody in your
Somebody.
family. And as a matter of fact, I worked for Blue Cross Blue Shield, which paid phenomenally, but we also were supported by the UAW. So Blue Cross is also on strike. Shout out to Blue Cross. I decided to bet on myself and run my own company, but I shout out all of my workers that I worked with that I know worked super hard, man. I'm telling you, man, we couldn't even move away. We couldn't even leave our desks without letting a boss know. So understand being in some of these companies,
Mm,
what you guys are getting blessed with outside of this world, as far as these cars or health insurance and stuff like that. There's people that can't even leave their desks without asking their boss. And if their boss says no,
mhm,
they have to sit down or they're going to get fired. So understand that we need to know what's going on in the economy, and that's what it brings me to. I learned today we got to understand what's going on. We can't be so surface value, guys. It can't just be about the cars. It can't just be about the clothes. It can't just be about what neighborhood we living in and what we doing and where we hanging out tonight. But we got to be more invested in what's going on in the world so that we can align ourselves and align our families in the right way so that they don't have to be those same people working in those companies where they can't get up and go use the bathroom unless someone tells them they can. Because in order for you
Wow.
guys to get insurance, some of these people can't go use the bathroom. So understanding what's going on and then aligning yourselves properly so that you can kind of break that generational curse. I look at it as a generational curse, man. We're generational curse breakers, man. I can't wait to see over the time and as this podcast grows how we're able to affect people in this world and how we're able to just fill people in on the next steps towards creating financial freedom in their life. What about you, bro? What'd you learn today?
That just took me away right there. But what I learned today, what hit home for me? Oh my guy, the power of habit, talking about the cue, the routine,
Oh
and
yeah.
reward. I'm a big mind guy. I'm a big, why
Go
do
ahead.
I do this? Why does my brain do this? Why did I say this like
Me
that?
too.
You see, we got to realize that the world that we live in today, it just wasn't built yesterday or 10 years ago or 20 years ago. The world that we live in today and everything that we experience and do, and even the words that we speak, it was set up by somebody 100 years ago, 200 years ago, 300 years
Seriously.
ago that plotted on the way that they want the world to work.
No,
So we
seriously.
got to look at that and realize how we want our life to work because everything that we do and live, somebody else made for us to do it.
Mm,
We're not doing what we're doing by our design.
mm.
That's why we have to create. They made everything for us to do off their muscle. Now, what are we going to create for people to experience off our muscle and intellect?
Come on
So
now.
when it comes down to it, we have to be able to identify the cues that make us buy certain things, the routine that gets us in it, and the reward that we get from it. And it comes down to everything. Every single habit has a cue, a routine, and a reward. And let's go over them again.
Beautiful.
The cue, the cue. Let's see, it's Friday night and I just got off work. I live in Michigan. I can smoke weed legally. I'm about to
Mm-hmm.
fire up.
Yep.
After I fire up, my mouth tastes a little, weedy. That's a cue, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
Friday. That's the cue. I'm smoking. Now my mouth tastes weedy. That's another cue. Now what I'm about to do? I'm about to get some food.
Easy.
Most smokers, after they eat, what do?
And
They
they gonna go
smoke
get the most
again.
expensive too at that point. There's no
That's
point going
the
to go get
routine.
McDonald's.
And guess
We
what's
going to
my
go get Motor
reward?
City and get some soul food, which we gonna
You
drop
feel me?
$25, $30 on a plate. Come on now.
And I'm gonna have a reward. I'm gonna feel good from it. I did that. But it's all because it's Friday. What do you do because it's Friday?
Ooh.
What do you do just because it's Monday? It's
Do you
Monday. I hate
invest?
today. I hate
Ooh.
today. It's bro I'm talking to somebody today. What up, bro? Happy Monday. I hate Mondays. Why? It's just another day, bro.
Bro, I heard somebody say,
Just another day, bro.
what did I say? I said, how was work today? Work? What?
So guess what that's about to have them on? That's their cue that they at work. So they about to have a routine to have a booty day at work, and they
Boo.
ain't even gonna get no reward. Their reward is just feeling shitty, and they gonna keep on doing that loop. You could do that with happy things.
And
You
then
could do
what's your
that with
reward for
working
that?
out.
Never getting a raise, never
Oh,
habit stacking, never
oh,
never creating more opportunities. Because guess what? When I'm at my job, when I was at Blue Cross, bro, and I'm consistently trying to work hard and do right and get stuff right and do and ask questions. Then people start asking me, well, hey, what's your name? What you do? Then I'm like, yeah, my name is such and such. I run a company for boom boom boom. Hey, you should come out. You should jump on a podcast. Hey, you should this. So I'm able to create more opportunities to get money because I'm there and I'm there with a purpose. Be there with a
mm-hmm.
purpose.
Be there with the purpose, make the right cues, have the right routines, and have positive rewards for yourself. We doing this so so we can make sure that you develop those things so you can have a better quality of life. So right now the cue is I'm giving you the cue to go ahead and and subscribe and share this video. That's the cue. The routine is make sure that you're here every single Monday.
Let's go.
Make sure that you follow and subscribe to the Instagram. and to the YouTube. And the reward is that you will continue to get valuable information to change the trajectory of your life to have a more abundant living and quality of life.
Because on
Let's
that
get it.
Instagram, we will be blessing y'all day in and day out. We'll be making sure we consistently give y'all posts on financial hacks, different ways to think about finance, guys. We're gonna give you guys the keys to this finance. So and we're gonna give it to you from the gurus, guys. You guys just don't have to just listen to us. We're gonna give it to you from your Neos and your Ashley Foxes and your Eric Thomases and all these different finance, Smitty Great, and all these and taxes, and we go over all these different things, and we'll post all these different people that allow you to start, number one, learning from them. Number two, you go invest in their courses, go learn from these people. We
Yeah,
didn't just
we
sit
the
around
plugs.
and sit around and wait for a free ticket. We make sure we invested in ourselves, our information, and our futures. So make sure you guys start habit stacking, start creating cues, routines, and rewards, so that what we can start investing in ourselves and making different habits.
Let's go. Let's go. Hey, as we grow, you grow. As y'all grow, we grow. You know, a rising tide raises all ships. And what is that rising tide? Personal development and growing ourselves mentally, physically, financially, and emotionally in any other way that we can. Let's
Let's
get it,
go.
man. It's Lamar Howard, aka the Knowledge Bank, with my man.
Jaquan Hankerson from the Black Finance Network, and we are
Our financial
Financial Awakening.
awakening.
Let's
Let's go.
go.
Hope you all have had a good evening. Hope you all enjoyed everything. Peace out. We'll see y'all next time.
Have a blessed one.